So, talking about the RISE technology. So, RISE, as we call, basically this technology or this technique helps us to do the kind of mapping in case there are multiple user stories with the level of confidence which the users have and the kind of impact and the overall kind of effort which is required for those user stories. So this technique, as we call, can be used to identify the valuable and reasonable increments as well as prioritizing those user stories and the product ideas based on the features. So the formula, the very simple formula which is used in the RISE is basically help you to identify whether you should go ahead with the user story or not. So there is a score called a RISE score, which is reach into impact into the confidence and divided by the effort. So the overall score which you derive after getting the complete numerical values, it helps you to give you the confidence whether you should prioritize for those user stories or not. So R basically the number of people or the customers the feature will reach. So R basically tends to the overall reach of the product or overall reach of the product idea or the feature or the user stories. That's our depictive of the reach part of it. I denotes the level of positive impact which the user story or feature have it on the overall uh, customer. So I is impact as in how many users or stakeholders would be impacted by some of these user story. That's an I in the RISE technique depicts. C denotes the level of confidence in terms of the kind of estimates which the developer has provided. So are you confident on the kind of estimates which has been provided by the development team or the team who have been working on those features or product ideas or user stories? And the E is the overall effort which is required in terms of number of story points or the idle time for carrying out or for implementing this user stories or product and feature. So now let's try to look at an example. So let's assume that there are 500 users each month who will be getting so this product or feature would be used by those 500 uh, uh, users. So in that case, you can always safely assume R as 500 because the features, products, or your users or user story will basically reach out to 500 users on a monthly basis. So R is equal to 500. Uh, I as an impact scale, if these product ideas or feature have a massive impact, we can give them a scale of 3. If it has a high impact, you can always make them 2. And if there's a medium impact, you can make them 1. And if there is a low impact, it is point 0.5. And then if it is a very minimalistic impact, you can make it 0.25. So that's a score which you can give it for the impact scale. So let's assume in our case there is a high impact, so we give a score of 2. So 500, which is the reach, into 2, which is the overall impact, and C is the overall confidence. So confidence scale basically says 100% if you have a confidence that this will reach out to all, and if you are overall confident about your products and features and ideas, then you can give 100%. Otherwise, you can give it 80% for medium confidence and 50% for the low confidence. So in this case, in this example, we have taken medium confidence, which is say 80%. Now talking about the overall effort. So effort is basically 2 for 101 to 200 story points on a scale. So if you see this, you can always make effort as true. So based on this RICE formula, which is reach into impact into confidence divided by effort, you can always come up with this overall value as a 400 RICE score. So the RICE score of 400 is denotive of the fact that um, mm, uh, the product idea or features would be requiring uh, overall uh, RICE score of 400, and if any of the product idea or feature have say score higher than the say 400 or 500 or 600, those should be given the priority. So RICE score basically helps us to get the overall level of confidence when you are trying to calculate the overall efforts. So definitely there would be a question asked in the exam for calculating the RICE score. So question can be as simple as that, that your users the features of the product can be reached to say 1,200 users, and you can always say that it have a higher impact, which is say a massive scale of say 3, and the overall confidence level is say medium, which is say 0.8%, and the overall effort is say again 2. So based on that, you can always calculate the RICE value. So the question in exam will be simply doing the mathematical calculation based on the formula, but exam certainly ask this question in the certification for sure. With that, if you want to still read furthermore, you can always refer to the RISE simple prioritization for product managers based on this link.